participating. It looks like Samantha is here from our Public Information's office. So Sam, if you could kick it off, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for the traffic emergency zone hearing for Kūhiō Highway in Waikoko. We're here today joined by Eric Fujikawa, manager of Kauai District, and Randall Haraguchi, Kauai District engineer, to talk about the issue going on at Waikoko and the plans for remediation.
I appreciate Sam. As she mentioned, I'm Eric Fujikawa. I'm with the Kūhiō Highways Kauai District, and we have a short PowerPoint presentation to share with the group, just to go over a few details of this traffic emergency zone designation project. This is at our Kūhiō Highway, Route 560, near milepost 4.7. Out in Waikoko, and this is at the Waikoko hairpin turn. So on October 7th, just last week, HDOT investigated roadway settlement, which was occurring at the hairpin turn, which indicated signs of a potential slope failure. We had our geotech engineering consultant on board, as well as structural engineers and civil engineers, to take their notes and data collections. Findings did confirm that there's a need for immediate slope stabilization at the distressed areas, and they are working on a design right now for us to implement as soon as we possibly can. The traffic emergency zone is from Hawaii Revised Statutes 264-1.5 on the emergency powers traffic emergency zone. I won't read the entire paragraph, but it gives the ability for the Director of Transportation to issue a traffic emergency zone when the immediate need for the safety of the traveling public on our highways is needed. And what it does, basically, it allows for an expedited procurement and waives certain permitting requirements for us to begin construction to remedy the situation. So our plan of action right now is to grind the roadway drop-off to reduce impact forces at the vulnerable slope areas. Right now we have this scheduled for next week, Monday, October 21st, and next week, Tuesday, October 22nd. The working hours will be from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this will involve single lane closures while our contractor does their work to create more of a smoother transition and avoid heavy vehicles from basically dropping onto the part that appears to be slipping. Following that, we look to install saw nails and shotcrete wall along the slope below the roadway, reconstruct the damaged roadway and repair damaged culvert in the near vicinity, and install a barrier at the slope's edge. The slope repair schedule is not determined yet, but lane closures will likely be necessary to do the work. And when dates are determined, we will be announcing it to the public at that time. Our contractor who's intended to do the work for us is the same contractor who is planning to work on the Waikoko upslope in the near area, which was a planned project, but we are looking to coordinate their schedules so that we don't have multiple projects going on at the same time in terms of closures of lanes and the impact to the community. That's all we have at this time. Of course, it's a very dynamic situation, and as information evolves, we'll be looking to share it with the public as soon as we can. But I open up to any questions anyone might have.
I had a question. This is Hobie back, live out near Waikoko. And my question is, you referred to barrier. Do you have any barrier in mind, or could you describe that barrier that's going in on the historic road? And I think we all know this has been going on for years. This has been slipping for years, and now it's an emergency. So I'm just curious on if you pre-planned for a barrier along here, and it's going to follow kind of guidelines with the historic road, or are we veering away from that since it's emergency? Thanks.
Thanks for the question, Hobie. We do have intentions to create a similar design as what was put in with the following the 2018 flood barriers. That's the concrete barrier with the rock imprint. That's what we have in mind. We're trying to have a little bit of consistency between what has been installed previously along these slopes and what we intend to put in now. We are open to comments on when what gets put in. Obviously, we do want to protect that drop off that's out there. It's something that we definitely wanted to address. Didn't have the space to do it with a traditional shoulder project. I think stabilizing the slope provides a little bit of opportunity to improve safety along this curve, but we do want to have the context sensitive design in mind as we move forward. So we're definitely open to comments that anyone may have.
Excellent. That sounds great. I'm just hoping we're not going to guardrail the whole thing, which is, I think, would meet some opposition out here. So I like what happened after 2018. I think it's sightly and I think it works. And if you're going in that way, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I think just one clarification. This is around the Haraguchi DOT also. I think the barrier we're thinking about putting up is the ones that came up after the 2012 actually event. So the kind of more form-lined, faux rock looking. It's kind of like around Lumahai area. That kind of rock wall looking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of a facade. It looks good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A little bit narrower profile than I think the one that I think we put a more traditional looking rock around Site 1 by Waikoko and then Site 2 by Wainiha. I think those are a little bit different.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sarah, I see your hand up.
Hi. I was curious about what materials are going to be used. I know some of the newer builds from the flood had like a styrofoam material within it. Is that still a material you guys are planning to use?
Eric, I think I can answer that one. That one we are probably not going to be using geofoam blocks. In this area, I don't think we lost any of the roadway. So because in that one we had to build back out that shoulder, we had to extend those out with those geofoam blocks. So that's why we had to put those materials there. But in this situation, it's going to be more like the Shotcrete wall we did prior to the stuff on Wainiha. So it's the stuff in Wainiha on the downslope side, on the Makai side. So before you get to the turn to go down to Wainiha Bay, that slope work that we did on that right side is kind of going to be similar to what we're doing here, with the exception of putting up a barrier instead of a guardrail.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that stuff. It got everywhere.
Great, thanks, Randall. Polly.
Hi, Eric Randall. Where is the sea cave that is kind of goes under the road in that area in relation to where the road is collapsing? Is there any concern on I don't remember how tall that sea cave is. Is there any concern of that narrow thickness, perhaps?
I'm not aware of any of that, the sea cave being in the near vicinity of where this is happening. Randall, did you,
Yeah, I'm not sure where that sea cave is.
when
Okay.
we explored the slope itself, you know, we walked towards the lower level of where the slope is, and appeared to be pretty intact in terms of just the shape of the slope curve. Just want to solidify it.
Great, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because basically that area where, you know, the car drove off the other week,
Mhm, mhm.
there looks to be quite a, like, you know, the rock that's all down there. So I didn't see any like void like right in the area of the slope, but it might be adjacent or a little further out. So I don't think it's like right under the where our roadway is.
Sounds good, thank you.
Yeah, not like Kūhiō Point, where I think, you know, some of that is a little bit different. Yeah, I think the Kūhiō Point area is where water is kind of hitting, waves are hitting the rock there and kind of eroding it on kind of,
They're
you know, yeah,
undercutting.
yeah.
Maybe worth a look. The sea cave that Paulie's talking about, where that car was, the sea cave is a horseshoe cave. You enter one end and you go for, I want to say 50 yards or more, and you come out the other end. It'll be between that car that went off the road and the highway. It horseshoes under there.
Okay.
It's a pretty big void and kind of a A-frame. It's not round. It's kind of A-frame, comes up a bit. So it's definitely in the vicinity. I don't know if that's what's causing sliding, but maybe worth a look. Start shotcreting, and the shotcrete never fills up. Well, we're probably hitting the sea cave.
Can you
I
access
really
it?
doubt it, but it is right there.
So it's, could you see it from walking down, or you'd have to get like in the water?
No, you have to be in the ocean. It's kind of where the kids, when the surf's real calm, they jump in. There's kind of a crack and comes in. You jump in the water. If it's really calm, you can swim all the way through. Only when there's no surf.
Yeah.
So you can't really see it. If you go way out on the point where it flattens out, but you got to come from Luma High and walk around the club, you can kind of see into it, but not from above.
Okay. Well, I appreciate sharing. We can definitely you know, notify the contractor and our design team to keep that in mind, and possibly explore how close that is to the project site. Are there any other questions?
I guess just timeline. Are you any closer to knowing when you guys are going to get permits? Any closer to knowing when you guys are going to be able to resolve the mesh on Honolulu Hill? Is that holding things up? So honestly, I know things change, but as of this moment in time, do you have a guesstimate?
For this response here, we can share that we're actively reaching out to DLNR. The parcel of land is under their ownership, so we're reaching out to them to get the necessary right of entries to continue our work through. We're also reaching out to State Historic Preservation Division and DOFA and DAR, Division of Forestry and Wildlife and Aquatic Resources, both with DLNR. Just to go through our consultation processes and permits. Of course, it's going to be in an expedited manner now that the designation was done. But we do want always keep in contact with those agencies to ensure that they don't have any major concerns of what we're trying to accomplish here. Timeline wise, until we have a more solid design in place, it's hard to provide that. I guess, you know, a real rough ballpark would be something similar we would anticipate to our emergency responses at Kumo'o Road, where we were working, what would you say, around maybe like three months or so on the slope there.
Sheesh. Yeah, it might have been a little bit longer.
Yeah, so I guess in terms of like a real quick and dirty estimate, you know, we would probably think 3 to 4 months to clear the slope, install the soil nails to stabilize the slope, install the shotcrete wall, and do the repairs on the roads. You know, maybe around that time frame.
Yeah, and it totally depends on, I guess, the material that we're drilling into. If it's just dirt and blue rock, the drilling is real easy. But if we end up hitting areas of cobble and boulders and stuff like that, that's what'll slow the drilling down. So
And I'm
we're
sure you
literally-
will.
Well, you know what? When we did like the Wainiha stuff and Lumahai stuff, when we've been drilling, actually the drilling has been pretty good. Hanalei Hill is
Okay.
the one that has been giving us the problems with, and it's mostly the lower portion of the slope. So we haven't yet
Yeah.
drilled in this particular location, but hopefully it's good material.
Well, I know it's gonna be a mystery till you're in the middle of it. But as far as time frame to even get started, I guess is my question. I honestly, you know, we're gonna start getting our rain, and I just worry about safety also for everybody, and with that permitting, with working on your design, when do you know, waiting till Hanalei is done, or at least this portion, just to get started, what do you think
No,
on your
this
time
is
frame?
gonna take priority over Hanalei Hill. So the Waikoko
Okay.
portion of the Hanalei Hill project is gonna be put
Be
on
postponed.
hold until
Yeah.
we get this area addressed.
Okay, so you'll just pause on that side?
Yeah. Because this is on the other side of that road and the Waikoko's on the, you know, the outbound lane. We don't want to like snake traffic through, you know, and they're pretty close, right? So I was just trying to think, I don't think there's a way to actually work in both spots at once without creating a crazy traffic
No, not with
nightmare,
like
you know.
pitchforks and yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so that's what the plan is right now. So we're trying to push the designer to get us even just a quick, just rough design, just so we can get the guys started with materials. Because what we're thinking of doing right now, just full transparency, is that they've ordered a whole bunch of materials already, right, for our Hanalei Hills project and Waikoko. So we have a whole bunch of bars and nails that we could use for this. So it's just a matter of getting that and then ordering more for the Waikoko
That is
portion
such
upslope.
good news.
So
Okay.
So yeah,
Perfect.
it's not like we're gonna be waiting here months. We're trying to wait probably weeks if possible. I'm hoping that we can get something within the next couple of weeks as far as getting out there. But yeah.
Yeah, I echo Randall's sentiment there, is that we're in constant communication with our designer to get that first directive on just where we're gonna start drilling the first hole. Because once we start with the beginning of the plan, you know, we'll be shoring up the full plan in parallel while the first part gets put in. And so our priority is to get started as quickly as we can out there.
That makes perfect sense to me. Having a solid plan before you start, I don't think is smart or practical. You don't know what you're gonna find.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like a design build, like we've kind of been doing. We have a rough idea and then it gets refined as we go along. So it'll be the same.
Thank you.
And Eric and Randall, while we have you, and while you're making an order for pins, if there's any time that you guys come out, could I show you guys the exacerbated erosion, which I think is coming from that foam wall, the shotcrete wall. The erosion since that thing's been installed in front of my mom's house at Waikoko is kind of severe. And I've talked to the contractor who's doing this other, the point revetment here, and they've mentioned putting pins and and screws and trying to stabilize that house that's getting closer and closer to sliding into the ocean. So if there's any chance that you guys are out, maybe what's possible that we could do on our own end before we're literally in the lagoon.
Okay. Well, I mean, we
Uh,
can make time to meet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try and contact you offline. Would be great. Thank you.
Okay.
And Hobie, maybe you can show them that cave too, if you're available.
Definitely.
I know we're getting to that part of the year where that thing's probably gonna be inaccessible for a while.
Might not see it till May.
Yeah. Bring our scuba stuff, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you,
Hopefully they found that one.
Sarah and Hobie with your comments and questions. Are there any other questions from anybody present?
No questions for me, Sam.
I have another quick one, actually. Kushni Construction did that soil revetment, what I'm calling right before the point on the Makai side, all those rocks they put there, and kind of left the pins and string. Can those pins and string come down at some point?
Oh yeah, no, sorry. That was just to try and keep people off the grass while it was grass.
Yeah, it looks like the grass
yeah.
is filled in, and I don't mind pulling them up, but I don't want to get arrested.
No, yeah, we can. You know what? They'll probably want their pins back anyway, so I'll ping Kushni guys.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right, great. Well, appreciate everybody, showing up on such short notice, and we'll be working hard on getting this project up and going, and in place, so we can assure everybody that the road is solid. We're available if anyone has any follow-up questions beyond the meeting, but I guess I'll toss it back to Sam if she has any closing remarks.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, for your comments, your concerns, and for your attention to this matter. If you guys do have any questions, you can email them to our public affairs office at dotpao@hawaii.gov. I can drop that information in the chat. You could also give us a call at the public affairs office at 808-587-2160. We're available Monday through Friday from 7:45 to 4:30. Thank you guys so much again for joining us, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you.
All right.